right.
He's one of my favorites.
We are getting ready to turn down the music and turn up the inspiration. Wonderful. All right, all right. Welcome, everyone. I am so excited that you are listening in to this call that I have with one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, someone who offers me tons of inspiration. I've learned so much just by being in her presence. You know, when we think about what we're trying to accomplish at the end of this year to prepare us for 2018, you know, many of us are looking at our financials. Many of us are looking at our calendars. We're looking at our programs, our offerings, our clients. But I am so glad that my special guest today is challenging me to look at myself. Not only me as a person, but how I'm taking care of myself and reminding me to make sure that I'm leveraging my most valuable asset, which is my health, which is the thing that generates my wealth. I learned that from her, right? So I am so excited to invite you to join me for the next hour with a conversation that really is designed just for you. I've asked my friend to take a moment out of her schedule to come on board and just really speak her heart and share her wisdom with the people that I love and the people that I know. And she has so graciously said yes to that invitation. She has an amazing program that is I think life-changing. And at the end or near the middle of the call, I'm going to ask her to share a little bit with you about the work that she's doing with people individually. But tonight we promised you that we were going to share some information with you that would totally blow the doors off of your 2018. And so in order for you to have an amazing 2018, I'd like to invite or introduce to you my super fabulous girlfriend, Suzan Hart, who is the founder of Fab and Fulfilled. That's what I'm talking about. So Suzan, welcome, 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 welcome. Yay. You make my heart happy.
Thank you, Lethea. I'm so excited to be here. And you're also one of my favorite people. And from the moment I saw you, I remember the moment you stepped on stage and I was like, this is the best. I got to get to know her. You were owning it. And I was like, oh yeah. And ever since, I've been following you and, falling in love with you.
Oh,
total girl crush.
Same here, sister girlfriend. Same here. Wonderful. Well, I have some questions for you. What I did is I really thought through some of the questions that I know my friends are asking based on the conversations that we've been having about our own health and wealth. I'm surrounded by amazing, talented women, Suzan, who are trying to do amazing things in this world. But one of the things that we often don't do well is take care of ourselves or put ourselves first, or some of us are really missing out on this opportunity to really be fulfilled in life. So that's why I'm so excited to have you join us on tonight's call. So to get started, what I'd like to do is I'd like to ask you to please just start off by telling us a little bit about your story. Like, why is, really getting fit, finding your fabulous and living a fulfilled life so important to you? Tell us a little bit about your journey and your story.
Absolutely. Lethea, I think oftentimes when you go through a stage in your life where something totally disrupts your life and you're able to shift it, it becomes really important. So if I look back about 16 years ago, I was working in Toronto. I was managing what we call a drop-in, which is a service for women who live on the streets,
okay,
who have addictions, who have mental health issues. And we saw 150 women a day. I loved what I did. And as I was focusing on the care and the service of the women, my team, my family, my work, I forgot about Suzan.
Did you say 150 people?
150 people a day we saw.
Oh my God.
And so, I know. And so I loved it, but I was so consumed with doing this job that I totally forgot about me. And the stress of that job over time began to take a toll on my health. And I will never forget one day being at work and having to climb 4 stairs, like 4, and not having the energy to physically move my little body up 4 flights of stairs. And wondering what on earth is going on. Now, to put this in context, I have been an elite athlete all my life, track, basketball, competitive bodybuilder, know exactly what to do around my health, but it was almost like I'd forgotten it. And my health was so far on the back burner that it was beginning to unravel. And this was the interesting thing. So as it's unraveling, Lethea, I'm going to the doctor, and my doctor's doing, the tests that they do. And he'd look at me and go, Suzanne, you're healthy, you're fine. And I'd look at him and go, well, no, I can't be. I feel horrible. I look horrible. This is not okay. And I'd go back a month later and he'd say, Suzanne, you're healthy, you're fine. But this was the thing he said to me that shifted everything. He said, Suzanne, you're healthy, but you're not well.
Say that again, Suzanne.
You're healthy, but you're not well.
So before you go on, Suzanne, I just want to share, for those of you who are listening right now, please pick up your pen, pick up your notebook, because Suzanne is sharing information that you need to really digest and take in. I mean, to be healthy but not well, like who says that, right? Who says that? So please pick up your notebook and your paper, your favorite pen, and start taking notes now, because I want to make sure you get everything that she has for you. So go ahead, Suzanne.
And I recommend you write that in big letters. So I looked at him and said, healthy but not well. Like, what are you Lethea, I was confused, right? And he said, you're healthy, but you're not well. And what he was saying to me, Lethea, was the lifestyle that I was living, and the stress I was under had taken a toll on my well-being. And I was under so much stress that if I continued that way, my well-being would actually impact my health. Right? And the thing that I really want everyone listening to get is, particularly as women, we take a lot of pride in our ability to juggle all sorts of things. We take a lot of pride in taking care of everybody. We take a lot of pride in our way to contribute. And I know for myself, my identity was wrapped up in giving. People tell me how well I did that giving thing. How well I did the thing. I love the fact that people would say, Suzanne can multitask, she can do all these things. But what was happening was the stress of that was beating me down. And if I really think about it, I was what I would call this angry giver. I would give, but I was pissed.
Oh, that's me, Suzanne. That was me. I would be doing the work. We're like, why nobody helping me? And I would be doing all this complaining, but I was the one who said yes.
Right? And it was almost like we would say, why nobody helping me? When they asked me, say, no, I'm good. I got this. Right? And so it was really the beginning of me having to stop and say, okay, something is required to shift. And that decision to make a shift was a decision to really begin to put Suzanne first for the first time. And not serve first from a selfish place, but first from a place that is really about filling my cup up first and learning to give from my overflow. Right?
Ooh. Yeah.
And really understanding that if I committed to filling my cup up consistently every day, it was actually quite easy to keep it. And giving from my overflow just became my way of being. So the Fab and Fulfilled journey was really about me committing to taking care of my physical, financial, my emotional, my spiritual fitness, my health in all those areas. and really learning the habits and creating habits and routines that allowed me to stay in that place. And from that place, Lethea, I began to experience this feeling I call fulfillment, this ray of call fulfillment, which was an ease in my body, a strength in my body, a grace in my body, less overwhelmed. I moved from overwhelmed to highly productive. I moved from busy to an ease in my life. And it all came from doing this one thing, was my cup was to be filled before I did anything else.
Yeah. I love the holistic approach that you're talking about to taking care of ourselves, because oftentimes we will focus on, we'll kind of get tunnel vision and focus on one area, but then the other areas tend to really not get the attention that they need. And I really love that whole idea of looking at every area. And to me, that sounds like I'm starting to get a glimpse of what the formula is for really being fulfilled when you look at that holistic approach.
And it's so interesting because when I one of the things I began to realize as I really began to dive into this work, I began to realize that we, particularly in North America, actually don't have a concept of health. We have a concept of diet. We have a concept of exercise. We have a concept of quick fix. We have a concept of getting to places quickly.
Yes.
We do not have an understanding of health and wellness in its true sense. And so health and wellness is physical well-being. And that means my exercise, yes, my diet, my hydration, my sleep, yes, Lethea, right?
Yes.
That sleep, that rest and recovery, all those things. But then it is also a spiritual thing in terms of my meditation and my connectedness with myself, my connectedness with my higher being, which I call God, but that connection, right? That peace and connection that's there. Then it's an emotional thing in terms of really looking at, does my emotional space and the way I do things feed and nourish my body? Is my environment feeding me? Are the people around me feeding me? So it was all those things. And then, yes, it is totally your financial situation, because there is this thing called stress. And we all know that when finances are low or out of sorts, stress becomes high.
Absolutely.
And stress is the secret and silent killer in many of our lives. So it really is taking this holistic approach and building routines that are consistently applied to manage all those areas. And now we're actually stepping into wellness.
And you said earlier that sometimes we forget that you forgot about you, right? I think oftentimes we do forget about ourselves. And I just think it's profound that we as women work so hard to take care of everyone else, but that we could forget about ourselves. That just seems crazy,
It does. So let me define it a little different, because this is how I have begun to define it, particularly for my women friends and my sisters, right?
Okay.
So consider that your health is equal to, get this, your self-love, your self-care, and your self-respect. Right? So it's and consider that it's an example to the world of how you love yourself, how you respect yourself, and how you care for yourself. And also consider that it teaches the world how you want to be loved, how you want to be cared for, and the respect that you believe you deserve.
That's reciprocal. Like it's almost like a boomerang, where the position from which you stand for yourself is the same position that others will return back. It's the same thing that others will return back to you. That's cool. I love that.
And the thing for me was I as I went on my journey and doing all this myself, I'm very proud of it and wondering why nobody helping me. What I had to do, right?
Lord knows I understand. I understand.
Alethea, the aha moment was I was teaching people that I didn't need help. Right? I was teaching people that there was no need to contribute to me. I was teaching people that they could put me last because I put me last. I was teaching people that I could stay all night and get things handled, and it would be okay. And so I really began to recognize, look at all the things I'm teaching the world of how they are allowed to treat me, because I'm doing it to me.
Yes.
And as I began to understand that, I began to shift things.
That's good. That's good, Suzan. This whole thing. And I often say that I believe that we teach people how to treat us based on what we accept from them and how we respond to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So now you're in a position, Suzan, where you understand this whole concept of really taking care of yourself in a way that honors who you are, that, respects who you are. You do the self-care and you have the self-love. And I believe that those items and, those areas are so critical. And I've never really thought about them together until I met you. But even just the whole idea of loving yourself is something that I think women struggle with, Suzan. Men often can't love us well because we don't love ourselves well.
And you're so right. And I think, self, when I love me, right, I'm the energy, the way I walk, the way I am in the world is suddenly different. It is suddenly different, right? And so the love that it's interesting because the love that you, I, or any woman listening, any man is looking for is the love that we're required to give ourselves first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's only when we are giving ourselves the level of love that we want from someone else that they're actually going to be able to give it to us. We're actually going to be able to receive it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a big part of it is I remember when I first started in business, I was looking for a business partner and looking for people I wanted to partner with. And my coach said that I would attract the person who was looking for me. I was looking for the person who was looking for me. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. And then they said to me, then you need to become the person you're looking for. Now, this is really interesting in the concept of health and in the concept of love and in the concept of wellness. So if like attracts like, and the person I'm looking for is looking for me, and I'm required to be that which I'm looking for, that means I'm required to treat myself the way I want to be treated and others.
Yes, that's so amazing in the sense that I'm going to take it not a step further, but I'm going to shift it just a little bit because I'm already married, right? I've been married for 25 years, been together 32 years. I'm not looking for anybody. But what I just learned in what you said is even though I'm already committed to my husband and we're already married, that in the confines or the beauty of this relationship that we have, all the things that I desire for him to be in the relationship are the same things I have to become in the relationship. That
absolutely,
that is wild. Absolutely. So I thank you for sharing that because that really hits home for me. That really hits home.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wonderful.
And it's such a powerful place to sit, Lethea, because the one thing that you have control over is ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. And so rather than asking someone else to change, it really is I be the change, right? And I treat myself the way I want to be treated. I honor myself the way I would be honored. I do the things I want to do. And if someone is really committed to me, they will reciprocate that process. Mm-hmm. But the other is you're more than likely to attract that person.
Yes. This is so good. So when we invited people to join us for this little, girlfriend chat, one of the things that we told them is that we were going to share with them strategies to help them blow the doors off of 2018. Now, some of the things you've already shared in my mind are helping me to really think about how 2018 is going to be a much better year, right, for me. So I want you to, when we think about the 3 areas that you have unique expertise and passion, which is really getting fit, finding your fabulous, and living a fulfilled life. Can you share some strategies with us in those 3 areas that really can help our viewers really shift things and blow their doors off of their 2018?
Absolutely. So one of the things, first of all, when I approach my fitness, when I approach my health, and I work with anyone, I do my health like I do my business,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because the first business I'm running and bringing to the marketplace is a business called Suzan Hart. This body right now, this being energetically, spiritually, emotionally, physically. This is the first thing I'm bringing to the marketplace, right? Because it's the first thing.
Good. That's good, Suzan. That's good.
Right?
Yeah.
Because people buy you before I bought you before I knew what you did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I like her. Let me
Yep. And I
buy
was like, when I met you, I was like, that's a bad sister. I had the same thought. I'm like, that's a bad sister. Like, I wish I could look like that. And I
right?
can say this, though. I can say this on record that I do not look like the woman I was when I first laid eyes on you, because
Absolutely.
you've been part of my inspiration for making changes in my life to help me become more fit, fulfilled, and to really, find my fabulous. Yeah.
And imagine if you began to treat your being like the way you treat your business. So the first thing I would tell everybody is to have a vision for your health. And I know it sounds odd, but I have this vision for my health. And I joke all the time and I say, my vision for my health is like I'm a fine bottle of wine. Good bottles of wine, they may get older, but they age like beautifully. They get better, they get
Mm-hmm.
tasty.
Yes.
So I have this vision of this woman that's athletic, fit, sexy, no one can tell her age, doing all sorts of things. So I have this vision for my life, and I picture, she's strong, she's muscular, she's lean. I have this vision, and so that's the first thing is to cast a vision, and cast a 10-year vision. What are you committed to looking like? And we do it in many different areas of our life. I bet you probably have a 10-year vision for your business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly where I want to be. Yeah.
So first is cast a 10-year vision for your health. That's the first thing. And notice I'm saying vision, right? Because vision is all about possibility, and visions aren't usually limited by the what's up, right? Really casting a vision.
I love
The
that.
second thing is this whole piece of acceptance. And the second thing is to accept where you are. Right? And when I say acceptance, when I talk to people about acceptance, I talk about accepting where you are with no other conversation than that it is what it is. So it's giving up judgment, it's giving up shame, it's giving up blame, it's giving up guilt, it's giving up anything that doesn't accept that you're perfect and beautiful exactly the way you are. Because this is the real thing. And I think this is the thing that people miss around their health. Health is not about you're perfect. Health is about changing habits that transform this beautiful you into a new level of you.
I love that.
Right? And the only way transformation can happen is if you sit in acceptance. But this is the other piece. I have learned that I do not take care of and stay connected to that which I do not accept, because I can't love what I don't accept.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too, Suzan, that same concept. I read some research that says, you're saying you can't love what you can't accept. There's some research that basically says that if you don't accept something to be true, I don't care how much you say you want it, your brain will not do the work to try to make it come to fruition.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And and I really want you to think about that whole concept when you talk about your physical self. If you can't accept where you're starting, and you are what you're going to expand, grow, and create this level of fitness, there's nothing that you're starting, because you're already disconnected.
Right.
So the first thing is to sit in acceptance, and sit with this no judgment, total love, total, like, I am perfect exactly the way I am. And then start from a place of, okay, so where do I desire to move to, right? what would I like to focus on and expand? And then you set a goal. My health has all been 90-day goal after 90-day goal after 90-day goal after 90-day goal. Now the secret is I always have a 90-day goal.
I love that. You're breaking down the bigger vision into something that's really manageable, something that you believe you can do. I love that.
Right? So I always have a 90-day goal. And the reason why is that 90-day goals keeps my health in the forefront and in front of me day in, day out. So that's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Once I have my 90-day goal, I also understand that my health is a day-to-day thing. So I want to talk about this concept called integrity,
Mm-hmm.
and being your word around your health. When we tend to do our health, it's crazy how we do our all or nothing. I'm either on the diet and perfect, or I'm not.
Yeah, that's how it is often. It's kind of like, it's like we give ourselves that excuse. If we're not really doing it right or well, we just don't want to do it. We kind of give ourselves the excuse of, oh, I'll just start over. I'll do it later. Yeah.
Yeah. You throw your hands up and said, well, I ate that thing I wasn't supposed to eat. I may as well eat the whole thing and keep going. Right?
Yeah.
And that's an all or nothing approach. And I think health is one of the few places we take this all or nothing approach, right?
Yeah.
Everything else we give ourselves the opportunity to shift. But when it comes to our health, it's like, okay, I tried it. It didn't work. I failed on day 3. I'm done. So the second piece I'll give someone. So you have your 90-day goal, right? And then every day you wake up is a new day.
Mm.
Right? And you create your word around your health, which is I'm going to do A, B, and C. And then when you wake up in the morning and your feet hit the ground and you say thank you for this beautiful day. I love myself. I'm ready to go. Your day starts from 0.
Mm.
And then you be your word in every area that you committed to get around your health. And at the end of the day, you celebrate.
Mm.
And then you start again at 0. So this is a beautiful thing. If you had a bad day or you had a day that didn't go so well, you could, and at noon you realize my day didn't go well, you just say, okay, I'm going to reset at noon, I'm going to live, and I'm going to do wonderful till the end of the day, right? If you had a whole day that was off, when your head hits the pillow, you learned a lesson. What is it that I'm going to do differently tomorrow? And tomorrow you start at 0 again, right?
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about that is it's one day at a time. One day at a time. One day at a time towards that 90-day goal. And some days will be beautiful and you will have the most magnificent day. And someday you'll wonder who's in your body and why do they want everything.
Yes, absolutely.
And then you'll say, thank God I'm putting her to bed tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to up myself again.
Yes. Ooh, Lord knows I've had some of those days.
Right. And so there's this whole concept, Dr. Venus calls it grace and mercy. There's this whole concept of grace and mercy that's necessary if you're going to take your health on and create that shift and transformation.
And tell us what is grace and mercy. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that.
Grace and mercy for me is just accepting my humanity.
Okay.
And accepting that I'm human. So there's days that my humanity is going to show up and it's going to want cake and ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That little girl inside me is going to say, I want cake and ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I want to fight against it, she wants cake and ice cream. You may have that day. And it's not to beat yourself up. It's if you succumb to that, is to accept it and then keep going the next day.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm learning as I'm listening to you, Suzan, is, and I've learned from you as I've had a chance to spend time with you and just watched you and just listened to you, is I feel like a lot of women are just going through life aimlessly and going through life, getting up and just going through the motions, they're pulled to and fro based on whatever the day demands versus them demanding that their day fall in alignment with their vision. Right. And that's one of the biggest things that I'm learning from you is the opportunity that we have and the possibility that we could have a life where we get to shape and create what we experience, right? Because you were talking about this 90-day process, like there's a strategy, there's a structure to getting the things that we want in life. And watching you and listening to you to talk about this is so exciting for me, because I know a lot of the women that I've talked to and get a chance to hang out with are women who are amazing women, who have amazing talents, but they're not really living a fulfilled life. They're not really fit. They're not feeling like they're fabulous in this world and showing the world their fabulousness, because they are not in control, right? They are not in control. So I love the fact that you're, sharing actual strategies that we can put in place to help us shift who who we're becoming in this world, how we're showing up in this world.
And Lethea, let's take that a little bit further, because remember I said health is not about changing you. Health is about changing your habits. So my health is the where it is for one reason. I have a series of habits that I execute each day around my health. It's that simple, right?
Yes.
So I have a morning ritual and routine, which looks simply like I get up, I go to my kitchen, I drink 2 glasses, I mix up my jug of water, I go to my favorite seat in my living room, I turn on my lamp, I pull out my book, I read for 20, 30 minutes. Then I pray and meditate, and I review my goals for my day. And then I go downstairs, and then I go to my room, I put on my workout gear, I know exactly where it is, it lives in the same place. Right. I put on my workout gear, I go downstairs, I plug in my workout routine, and I work out for, check this out, 20 to 30 minutes, no more. Right? And my routine is 20 minutes of reading, 20 minutes of meditation and prayer, 20 minutes of goal setting, 20 minutes of exercise. Why? Because I can do that.
Here's the thing, though. First of all, I want to say, the people who are listening today or even watching this cannot see Suzanne's full body, but you would not believe that it is possible to have the kind of body that she has with working out 20 minutes a day. But what I have come to learn, Suzanne, from you is it's a lot about how we treat ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, and what we put in our mouths that dictates a lot of how we look. And the exercise, to me, is like the refining process almost. That's what I'm kind of, and tell me if I'm off, but that's what I'm kind of coming to learn, because the way you look, I would think that you spend 3 hours a day in the gym, and you don't do that.
No. So, and so this is the interesting thing. One is health is about commitment, right? You commit and go on a journey. You don't, it's not a destination kind of thing. It's a lifelong journey. That's the first, I think, difference. The second thing is it's about consistency. So the compounded effect of 20 to 30 minutes, 6 days a week, is huge. Right? Versus the fits and spurts that most people do of 2 hours and kill myself in the gym. I'm gonna do that for 3 months, and then I'm not going back for another year. Right? So it's the consistency, and what contains that consistency is how you nourish, hydrate, and rest your body. Those are the secret things that we don't look about. Consistently eating well and putting great nutrition into your body, consistently hydrating your body, because a large percentage of our body is water, consistently getting rest and recovery, because your body heals, grows, and repairs when it rests, and consistently practicing a routine that keeps the stress in your life manageable. Those are the pieces.
What's interesting is, as you talk about, these pieces, one of the things for me was I was having some challenges with my memory and I would just say my mental health. And it was so interesting that I can't remember if you told me or read it somewhere, but I learned that our brains are mostly as well made up of water. And I thought, okay, I don't drink any water. So I understand why my brain is like saying, red alert, I can't function, because I wasn't drinking water. And so really when I started drinking more water, I could tell a noticeable difference in my ability to remember things and to show up powerfully every day.
And water affects your skin, your hair, your nails, your mental clarity, your body's ability to recover. Water eliminates stuff from your body, right? It is what flushes your system. So water and water is what your muscles are, mainly water, right?
Yeah.
Muscles are just wiry things if they're not hydrated. It's full through water,
right?
So if you're not consuming, if you're someone who's thirsty, you're already way too dehydrated.
Yes. And I got to that point of thirst way too often. There's something else, Suzanne, that I want to confess. I feel like I'm in a confessional right now, but I do know that by sharing my journey, it really blesses other people. So I do want to just share this. I used to have this saying when I first started my business 12 years ago, actually almost 13 years. January will be 13 years for me, Suzanne. But I had this, now I know it's crazy, thought whenever I would like overdo it, do 2-day marathons where I wouldn't go to sleep and all that stuff, and I just really ran myself ragged. I used to say, when people would say, Lethea, you need to rest, I would say, I'll rest when I'm dead.
Oh, you know what? You and I could shake hands. I was exactly, and Lethea, I took pride in the fact.
Yes. I got to sleep when I'm dead.
Sleep.
Yeah, and I've come to learn. And here's the thing: that's why I believe that we need coaches, we need experts, we need people who have understanding and knowledge that we don't have. Because all it took was for somebody to teach me that my body is repairing, my body is processing, my body is recovering at night. Oh, okay, I do need those 8 hours. 4 hours won't do. Yeah, you can't just lay your head on the pillow, get up, and then think you're going to be able to be Superwoman throughout the day. It doesn't work that way. And this is what I've learned from you. And this like, I'm still struggling to try to get there, right? But slow is the new fast. Like, I never see you rush. I never see you in a panic. Even though things are like this around you, you're like, I'm like, that is one of the smoothest sisters I know. Like, how does she do? It's like, like you walk in your own bubble of just zen. I'm like, I want some of that in a bottle, right? But I'm coming to learn that it is your discipline and your habits. Like, I know that now, getting to know you, that's the strategies that we're sharing with people tonight. You've mastered these things, and they now are a part of how you live. So no wonder you're able to be zen when everyone else is like, right? So yeah.
Absolutely. And you're hitting such a great point. And I know, like, when I first started in business myself, and it's about the same amount of time as you, Lethea. And I thought, I thought I would miss something. If I slept too much, I'd miss something. If I didn't answer my phone, I'd miss something. And what was happening was I was spinning my wheels, and I wasn't efficient. And then I had somebody say to me that I needed to slow down to speed up. I was like, what? But it made so much sense. And so I also started going back at that point in time to a lot of the rituals that I had when I had a coach, when I was training as a competitor, right? And it was really very much a slow down to speed up process, and very much routines. And what I began to realize was that if I took time to rest my body, if I took time to meditate, if I took time to nourish my body, I was way more efficient when I came to doing the work I wanted to do. I could do way less in more time, because when I'm grounded and centered and focused, I'm highly productive. So when I coach, I say there's a difference between the energy of busy and the spirit of busy, and the energy of productive and the spirit of productive. And what keeps you in productivity is actually planning, discipline or mastery, giving yourself time to get grounded and focused. That's what maintains productivity. And if you ever look at the book, one of the great books I like is Productivity Project. And he has done all these tasks. And what he says is that our body gets to a threshold each day where even if we worked more and did more, we don't produce more.
And you said that's called the Productivity Project?
Okay. And I'll get you the name of the author. But Productivity Project, and there's a threshold of production. And so what we want to do is we want to spend some time planning, grounding ourselves through whatever rituals that are for you, fueling our body, getting our exercise, taking our breaks, and coming to our productivity times with focus and energy, and knowing that focus and energy is going to last for a period of time. Then you go away and you replenish, you do something, then you come back for another period of focus and energy. And what ends up happening, Leithia, is you end up producing more in less time, but with way more ease.
Yes. Is that the book by Chris Bailey, maybe?
Yes, it is. There
okay, wonderful. The website is alifeofproductivity.com. Thank you for sharing that, Suzanne.
Yeah, and it's a great read. It has such good tools in it. And so when we're talking about blowing the doors off your health in 2018, just to recap, it's one casting of clear vision, and the reason I say I talk about casting a vision down the road is because when you're working for something down the road, it is a journey. It's not I'm going to get there next week. It's a journey, right? And so you want to begin to design the journey around your health as you do around your business, as you do around, your retirement, whatever it is. And then you start to roll back and you ask yourself, well, where do I want to be at the end of the year? And once you establish where you want to be at the end of the year, then you go, what's my first 90-day goal? Once you have that goal, you sit in acceptance and know where you're really starting, right? And for some people, be going and getting a physical. It might be just really getting present to where you are, asking what changes would actually move you in 90 days. And then once you have those, is to work with someone to build a clear daily plan. That's not so drastic that it overwhelms you, but that's doable, because this is the other thing that we often don't get when we get to our health. If your health plan is so extreme that you can't wait for it to come to an end, you're never going to do it. But if your health plan is based in some gradual shifts in habits, and you are able to get through it and keep moving, it's something that you'll maintain.
So as we think about the idea of really forming these habits, I think what you were saying earlier, and I agree that, making it something that we can do in smaller chunks makes it doable. It feels like it's a goal that we can reach. It's not like we're trying to build Rome in a day,
Right.
Yeah.
And let me give you the example of your body, right? Have you ever been to the gym and you go and you decided now you're going to do your diet, right? And notice I've never talked about a diet because I don't believe in them. So you decide you're going to do your diet. Your diet is way extreme, and then you decide you're going to go to the gym and you're going to work out for an hour and you're going to just give it to your body.
Yes.
And then you go home and your body, and the next day you wake up and your body's like, Lord, child, please don't sit down. Don't breathe too much, because you're in so much discomfort. Right?
Yes.
But that's what we do versus starting a diet plan and maybe saying, let me get my nutrition on track for the first 3 weeks, and then let me add a 15-minute workout.
Right.
And just manage that. And my workout, I have one woman that we started her workout, and I said, okay, you're going to give me 10 minutes. And she said, really? And our first workout was to go for a walk for a few minutes every day. And so she got that going, got her blood going, and we were getting her nutrition on track. Then I said, okay, so now I want you to work out for 10 minutes every day. And I said, and you're going to do a little circuit, and it's going to be 5 sit-ups, 5 push-ups, and 5. And there's ocean, there's fine dining, you're greeted and received by just wonderful people who escort you to your room. We're going to have a champagne reception when people arrive. every single day we are going to have an excursion of some sort.
So the Fit, Fab, and Fulfilled Freedom Retreat, let me recap what you said already, is this amazing experience in Cancun, right? Where you're going to help people, and give me that phrase again. I love just hearing you say it. You're going to help them what?
Get fit.
Uh-huh.
Feel and find their fabulous.
Yes.
And live a deeply fulfilled life.
Yes, absolutely. And before you say a little bit more about the retreat, I just want to say, from what you shared with us tonight, you know, I one person asked me the question. They said, "Hey, Lethea, this sounds amazing, but for the price tag, I can go to Cancun, anytime and not have to pay that much money, right?" And I think I think the trip that you're planning is amazingly affordable, right? But the reality of it is this isn't a trip. This is an experience, right?
This is an experience. This is actually a full program, and so imagine, if you will, that every single day we're going to engage in this juicy conversation about engaging and transforming your health in 2018. Giving you all sorts of skills, tools, and tips that will actually bring it to life at the retreat. So we are actually going to do the whole process of casting your vision for your around your health. We are going to help you set your goals for 2018 and then break them down into 90-day goals. Then we're going to help you develop an action plan.
Yes.
And so that you know what you're doing as you go home. But this is where the beauty lies. Is one of the things I know about health is we all have habits, experiences, mindsets, and thoughts that get in our way and keep us exactly where we are. Right? So I might have the best intention, but I have a way of being that I may not even be aware of that keeps bringing me back to this one place that has me sabotage my health, put my health on the back burner, all these things. So the number one thing we'll be doing there is having you get present and connected to the things that you have done that get in the way of you doing your health, the experiences that you have, and the conversations that you have that keep you exactly where you are around your health. So I'll give you a great example. You know, when I was younger, I had this vision of where I wanted to be around my health. I had this clear, right? Every time I get close to it, Lethea, I would sabotage. Every time I would smell that goal and I'd be like, boom. And somehow I would start eating, I would start doing things that I had no intention of doing.
And then we found ourselves way in left field somewhere, wondering how we got there.
How did I get here? I was so close. And the thing that bothered me was intellectually, I knew exactly what I needed to do. You probably know exactly what you need to do when it came to your health. What I needed to look at was I had an event in my life and I had a conversation that was running in the background. And that conversation kept me just getting close enough to my goal and then backpedaling every time I got close. And it was only when I cleared up that conversation for myself and I began to look at it and redefine it and write a new story around it that I actually was able to hit that goal. But actually, I've maintained it for almost 25 years.
Wow.
Right? And it was one conversation that I needed to clear. And that conversation created a lot of habits. It created a lot of beliefs. It created a lot of fears. It created many reasons why I avoided doing things around my health. And I didn't even know it was there. And once I unpacked it, health became simple.
You were go ahead. I want to make sure you were starting to talk about, and I interrupted you, but you were starting to talk about something about excursions. So don't forget to share that, but go ahead.
Yeah, and so one of the big things was really creating a community and an environment where we can all talk through many things, where we can begin to say, okay, why is it that I keep bumping into this? And really begin to unpack it. And then every excursion that we've designed is designed to give you an experience where you are going to examine something. Right? You know, we're going to have a beautiful time at the spa, Lethea.
Well, I know I am certainly looking forward to it. I can't wait to just sit under your leadership and your teaching. I am in major transformation right now, and you are just such a blessing in my life. So thank you so much, Suzanne.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And part of the reason for this beautiful spa experience, Lethea, is how often do you stop and do your self-care? Like you are the queen of the queen,
Right.
right? How often do you allow yourself to get pampered and taken care of? But you know, when you're talking about fulfillment is about filling yourself.
Yeah.
So it's about a level of self-care that has you feel magnificent. And how often do we actually schedule those into our lives like we deserve?
Right. One of the things that I love, give us the dates for the retreat, and then I'll make sure we share the URL. But give us the dates, and then I have something to say about that.
So the dates are February 1 through 8. And for me, they're February 1 through 8 because I live in Canada. And at that time, I'm done with the cold. So I'm like, ooh, let's go hang out on the beach.
Yes.
Let's do some really fun, exciting things. Let's go on an excursion. And also, I love the possibility of engaging in a conversation with dynamic people that are committed to their 2018 being the best year ever, that are committed to themselves, their level of productivity, the vision they have for their life in the area of health, in the area of relationships, in the area of wealth, and they have a vision for transformation, and they are committed to figuring out what it is that helps them move through 2018, and really having a mastermind and a conversation where people bring their brilliance, and I get to facilitate and guide a process. Yeah. I'm so excited that you're going to be sitting at that table because
yes.
You come with your own strategies. And so that's the other piece of it, is how often can you go somewhere and sit and have a health and wealth discussion?
Yes.
With amazing minds.
Yes, absolutely.
And plan your year, but plan your year foundationally, right? Right? So you lay that beautiful foundation and you put in place those pillars that solidify you as you move and navigate life. You know, I have this whole concept that, you know, sometimes life feels like the storm, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we want to be the eye in the middle of that storm, that no matter what happens, no matter how the wind blows, we have all the tools and things to stay grounded in our physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial health.
That's that Zen bubble I told you created. Now I know it's called the eye. But Suzanne, a couple of things that I want to share is I want to give the URL right now. It's fitfabandfulfilled.com/retreat. I'll say that again. fitfabandfulfilled.com/retreat. We want you to go there, check out the retreat, look it over in detail. And I hope that you will listen to your heart right now, because I know some of you watching this video, your heart has been moved. Your mind is imagining what it would be like. And you really, really would love to put yourself first, finally, for a while. And I know that this conversation has probably moved you to think deeply about how you're showing up and what you're accepting from the world and what's possible for you. And so I wanted to make sure you had the URL. But the other thing that I want to share is Suzanne talked about some of the excursions, and I'm not going to spill the beans on what they are, but I will just tell you that some of the excursions are things that I have been there that are on my bucket list. Let's just say that. It's not just the, hey, we're going to go to the beach and snorkel, right? We're going to be at the beach, and we're going to do some things on the beach, but some of the things she has planned for us are breathtaking, are amazing, and will make you really feel like you've had not just a vacation, but that you've had an experience. So I really want to just make sure we highlight that. The other thing is, I want to just say it in my own words, that I am so excited about sitting under the teaching of such an amazing and brilliant expert. I know that 2018 for me is going to be a very transformational year with regards to my health and my wealth. And Suzan is one of the key parts of the strategy for me to really blow the doors off of my 2018. The other thing that I wanted to say is that for those of you listening who are members of my tribe, I have something very special that I will be doing with you. If you decide to join Suzan and I, and there's some other guest experts that are gonna, I mean, when you go, let me just say, the people that Suzan is attracting are people that are amazing. And I'm not saying that just because I love her, but these are some amazing, brilliant people who are at the top of the game of what they do. And the participants, those are some of the experts that she has, but then the participants are women who are amazing in their own right. So as she said, to be able to spend this transformational period with people who are the type of people that you would love to have in your life, and to know that you're going to be able to walk through this transformation with a great teacher and with some amazing people is something that I find extremely, extremely, extremely valuable. So I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned that as well. But for my tribe, if you go check out her website, this is a time-sensitive offer. If you are serious about this, number one, seating is limited, and number two, we have to have deposits in within the next week or two in order to make sure you can get your spot. So if you are serious about joining us, check out the website and don't dilly-dally. Go ahead and register. If you have any questions, Suzan has a way for you to set up a call with her so you can talk to her privately about what we're doing here. But for my tribe, I'm going to have a special private meeting outside of what Suzan is doing, where if you register and join me on this experience with Suzan, I have something very, very special that I'll share with you once you register. The last thing is, I just want to reiterate, this is not a trip. This is not, you just paying money to go on a trip to Cancun and you do whatever you want to do. This is really for people who are serious about making a shift in their life and really putting themselves back on the front line of their lives so that they can be everything that they need to be to the people that they love and the people that they're called to serve. So Suzan, is there anything else you would like to share before we wrap up our call tonight?
Lisa, everything you said, so well said. And I think when I started doing this work, I really began to be present to the fact that my health, your health, is the foundation for every single thing we do. It is foundational, and my everything else sits on that. My finances sit on my health. My relationships sit on my health. My contributions sit on my health. Those quality times I want to spend with my kids, my grandkids, all of those things, they sit on that foundation called health. And oftentimes it is the last thing we take care of, because it's what's easy to do is sometimes so easy not to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think it's because I am my health, you are your health. And sometimes I get lost in that. So the fifth Fab and Fulfilled is an opportunity for you to stop, totally put you first, and say yes to you. And do so in a supportive, dynamic environment with people who are walking on the exact same journey in their level of commitment. These are people that are decided that 2018 is my year.
Yes,
and
it
when
is.
I say my year, it's like my year. I'm taking care of me while producing a high level, while going after some big goals, and knowing that when I'm totally fulfilled, those things happen with a little bit more ease.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I just want to thank you, Suzan, for being obedient when the Lord called you to create this amazing program, and just the body of work that you do as an amazing contributor to the whole health wealth movement. I'm really looking forward to all that I'm going to learn from you, and I'm just really, really excited.
You know what? I am so thrilled that you're going to be there with me.
Mm-hmm.
And to anyone listening, if you know Lethea, the woman is brilliant, right? I know she is. She is. And when she says she got goodies and she's doing something extra in her room, I'm gonna be in that room. I'm gonna figure that because I know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, we got managed stuff, so I can be in the room too.
That's right. That's right. We're gonna make sure we work that out. Yes, yes. But I do want to make sure everyone has the link. Again, it's fitfabandfulfilled.com/retreat. And please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to click the button at the bottom of that page to schedule a time to chat with Suzan. If you have any questions, that you think I can answer, you know how to get in contact with me. Please connect with me so that I can share with you any information that for me would be, or for you would be helpful in making your decision. I hope to see you in Cancun. It would be my birthday on February 1st. So I'm going to be celebrating with Suzan. Okay. And the fact that it's 7 full days, guys, you can't find many programs, especially at this price, where you get to spend that many days all inclusive. Like, it is unreal. But I believe that transformation takes time. And if someone is promising you transformation and you're going on a 2 or 3 day trip, I would question just how much work you're going to be able to get done. And it's not that you can't have major transformation in that short period of time, but I just love the fact that Suzan has given us a whole week to experience our transformation and her. So that's my little 2 cents. Okay. I just want to put that in there, right? So please go check out the link, fitfabandfulfilled.com /retreat. Join us in Cancun, February 1st through the 8th, and I hope to see you there. Thank you so much, Suzan, for being my special guest tonight on this transformational call.
Lethea, thank you so much for having me. Look, I'm so excited to see you. It's going to be soon.
All right. Take care. Be blessed and encouraged.
Take care, hon.
Take care. Bye-bye.